Insanity, Team Liquid. There's some others as well, such as Acer, Root Gaming as well, AT Gaming and more, and so on. So, First Division is of course what all of these teams want to achieve, because it's what all of these teams want to achieve because it's where the most exposure is, it's where the most experience is, it's where you get the best matches for your team, and that's of course where you want. I mean, Second Division is a nice thing to play in if you're a strong team and you can't quite make it to the First Division, because there's still a prize pool and you still get some of your matches casted, etc. But the First Division is what it's all about, really. So, as we get into this, to the upper right corner, we're going to start with PSISTORM Gaming's Blue Zerg player. It is No Regret. Again, 1-0 up right now as we go into what is essentially game number 2 after game 1 was a forfeit from Team 7X, as the red Terran to the bottom left corner of the map is Surprise. So, Rax gas to start off here, nothing too surprising. We're going to have a hatch on the low ground from No Regret. Orbital Shipyard was the choice of map from Surprise. Again, because they lost that first game, they get map pick in game number 2 here. But we're not seeing any kind of extra barracks going down, so it doesn't look as though he picked this to go into some kind of 2 racks or 3 racks Reaper play or anything like that. Just straight up standard stuff here to get us started as we get into this ZVT early on. Hatch down on the low ground, and it's going to be a pool in the main, a gas coming in as well as we get set up and ready to go. So we are running slightly late here, guys, again. We were a little bit delayed at the very start, which was, not at the very start, but the last series which we're casting the end of was a little bit delayed and there were some issues, and then I had to take a break to check something out. But yeah, cool. So, overlord coming across the map here from No Regret. And again, just that first Reaper is currently on the way, going to be moving across the map here very shortly. As that spawning pool finishes up for No Regret in the main base. He has a gas up as well, so he's going to start his Zerg speed very soon. Now, yeah, nothing really super crazy or anything super ridiculous at the very start of this here. As that Reaper does start to move across, it's going to be a Marine follow-up, which means we're going to see a fast factory coming down. And then going to follow up with the reactor afterwards. So as Reaper pops up, and again we'll start to harass over here, pick away at a couple of drones, a couple of Zerglings if possible. Surprise, not paying complete attention to this just yet. As I'm going to see the... Ooh, Reaper getting a little bit caught there. No Regret is going to lose... Oh, no, he actually gets that drone down. So that's a little bit of a mistake again by Surprise. A couple of mistakes with the Reaper control there early on. Means he doesn't get anything really done with it as much as he could have done. 2 drones very low on hit points. I mean, the first one, of course, wasn't going to die because No Regret had it in a Spore Crawler. But the second one was blocked from being a Spore Crawler. So it could have been killed in time by the Reaper, but it wasn't. So a couple of mistakes here early on as we see a fairly swift Rotoron coming down from No Regret. And we're going to see what... Surprise is going to do next here as well. So far he's actually just added on the second gas, and he's going to a starport, tech lab on the factory, which would suggest that we're probably going to see some Cloak Banshee play. That Rotoron's going to finish up shortly again. That's going to speed about to finish up, and we'll see what exactly. I mean, No Regret's got a lot of money, so it looks as though he wants to go for kind of a 2-base Roach sort of play. Roach Ling all in or something like that, Roach Ravager all in. And, well, the problem is what he's going into. Well, actually, Surprise goes into a tank, so this is a very defensive setup here, but when he doesn't get the information early on with the Reaper, then it's definitely just the safe thing to do. Go into a tank for safety. We'll see if he goes Medevac or see if he goes Liberator. I mean, either's kind of an option. He doesn't really have the gas for a Liberator, so he's just going to go for a tank, so this is going to be a good setup actually against what No Regret is doing right now, as we see him start up a lair to transition. There's a couple of roaches pop out, and they're going to look to see what is going on as they move across the map. So a few roaches continue to start to move across the map, and they're going to look to get some damage done here. A couple of depots will lower. As Reaper's going to move across and look to see if he can spot anything. And these Marines are currently moving onto the map. This isn't going to be a good thing for our Terran player, because attacking down the low ground here is the last thing he wants to do. Fortunately, there's only 3 roaches here to begin with, so No Regret just has to pull back and probably can't really fight against the tank here. These Ravagers are going to morph in a bit of a forward location. If this tank drops down, he's going to get a couple of shots off, and I think he'll cancel one of them, maybe not 2, or he gets 2 of them. A little bit unfortunate there as a Corrosive Bile will drop down to delay the Marines from chasing. Of course, still just the extra racks have only just come up here for surprise. No third CC, as we see the lair finish for No Regret. He's going to go for a Spire, so a middleless tech switch here, which of course could catch surprise off guard to some extent. And yeah, factory going to drop down and switch up. He's actually going to build a reactor with this factory, so obviously feels as though he's held off here initially, and is going to be able to. I mean, 2 tanks is pretty safe, especially on orbital shipyard. There's only a very small ramp to move up here, and that's pretty nice, as it means that 2 tanks will pretty much hold anything. Even a Nidus one at this point is going to be pretty delayed, etc., so he should be fine. As you just see a few Ravagers out on the map, still holding the map control. Third base will start for No Regret back at home. He has started drawing up as well. Why is it always on this map we lose the army supply? That's really, really weird. It happened in that first series of the day as well. As you see a Spire on the way up now for No Regret. He's again about to finish up, so he's going to have these meters very soon. As we're going to see the first Medivacs moved across the map, I think. Yeah, okay, well, Zerglin here definitely spots this. So he knows that his opponent wants to drop here early on, and Surprise actually decides not to. He pulls back with these 2 Medivacs. Now, there's plenty of Marines up. Engineering base started +1. Of course, there's no, no turrets starting up just yet. And as we see these Marines dropping out of the Medivacs right now, so no turret or anything out just yet here for Surprise. But he's going to start it up as he actually scans in the main base and he spots that Spire and the lair. So just scan to kind of see what the follow-up is. And I mean, No Regret doesn't really try to hide this. He pops them both down the main. I mean, he could have put them down on the low ground, but that's very risky, of course. So first units starting to come out here. They're just going to be rallied into the main base, but turrets on the way up, so this could be a fairly easy defense side of Surprise. There's also still going to be openings, though. I mean, there's going to be ways in which No Regret can maybe try and pick off an add-on or so. And he can definitely try to delay this third base from being taken as well by being annoyed with the mutas and moving around with the rest of his army as well. He's adding on a few more mutas as well, going into a Bane Nest also. He's going to be behind on upgrades here, but for the most part, looking fairly okay as we see him coming in. He sees that turret. He's going to try and snipe down a Marine there. I think we'll be able to get that single Marine in the end. Nice control to pull the injured mutalist back, and again he finds openings here where the turrets don't quite reach, so he's going to be able to get a little bit of damage done and slowly pick away at this worker count. 4 workers killed. There is a big push coming across the map from Surprise. These tanks here, well actually, I mean, No Regret's completely out of position to deal with this. As these Marines about to have stim, no combat shields. Bane Nest is finished, but no Banelins just yet. No Regret sees this now with this Overlord, which gets killed off. He's actually a little bit supply blocked, which is a big fault for him. As we're going to have to see this these rocks being taken down. He's going to look to try and poke in here. Now this isn't a good position for these tanks because they can be picked off by the Mutalisks. Nice pick up there on the Medivacs to keep them safe. Tank over this side will take 1 volley. Second volley doesn't kill it just yet though. As No Regret has a few Banelins starting to come in here. He's going to start coming up. Surprise is going to start coming up this ramp with these Marines. The tanks are going to come down here as well. Big stim in. As we're going to see No Regret starting to commit to this. Banelin's starting to get targeted down by them tanks. Ravagers are going to corrosive file onto the siege tanks on the low ground. There's not many Marines left though, so eventually this will be cleaned up. And No Regret will be able to turn this away. There's some more Marines, however, there is a bunch of Zerglings running in to try and help this out. No Regret with a bunch more Lings on the way as well, as the last few Marines are continuing to fall, and there just isn't enough anti-air here to really deal with the Mutalisks, and that means these tanks are going to go down, and the Medivacs will be chased as well. And Surprise is going to fall back home. No Regret with a lot of money in the bank, which is going to be nice for him to spend now once he can stabilize a bit, maybe even expand to that 4th base, which is opponent helped out by taking down them rocks. And as the mutas do begin to catch these Medivacs, and No Regret will begin to take a big lead in this game. I mean, the problem here for Surprise was he just didn't quite have enough, and No Regret was very close to kind of dying there, but just was able to hang on, and it was all down to kind of the supply block didn't really help him at all, and I mean, yeah, the supply block didn't help him much at all, and I guess the mutas kind of in the end were kind of the saviors, but of course if he hadn't gone into the muta tech, he would have had a lot more army to realistically fight with, as we see these Banes, Lings, mutas gonna get ready to come in towards the 3rd base here in a few moments time. The Mutalisks gonna get ready to come in as the Marine getting sniped down. And it's just going to look to see what they can do. They're going to find like a depot that's a bit out of range of turrets. Maybe they can kill off the armory or delay the armory, engineering bay, etc. And again, just looking for a bit of damage here and there. Pulling some Marines away from the front, where there's only really 1 siege tank right now to defend from this Ling Bane attack. And the tank's going to get targeted down very quickly. Some mutas are going to be fighting against these Marines, but for the most part, there's just not going to be enough here for Surprise. And it looks as though No Regret is going to find a way to break through. The turrets will get cleaned up, and plenty of Lings on the low ground still. Kind of surprised he moves the mutas over to the next, over to the turret. I guess it gives them continued access to the 3rd bases. The Lings stream into the main base to clean up the mineral line here. And Surprise in a lot of trouble. Still Supply's very close, and he actually does have a drop over on the other side of the map as well. He's actually killed off the natural expansion. Wow, okay. Well, that's really bad. God damn it, failed caster moment. As he's actually getting quite a bit of damage over here, which is probably why these supplies are looking so even. The problem is, though, the Marines aren't ever going to get up in high enough numbers to really try and trade against these Mutalisks properly. So the Marines are going to keep falling, the Mutals are going to keep on camping this production, and eventually No Regret does clean up back at home, and now the supplies do look a little bit more in his favour. So that one big drop actually from Surprise is getting quite a lot done here, but he just still, well, maybe actually with these few Marines the mutant count's got a little bit lower. He will be able to clean this up, but No Regrets streaming across the map with Lings. There's no wall off here or anything. There's still, even with kind of SimCity, and I don't think he can really fight against all of these Zerglings. They're going to come in. They're going to try and get back towards the SCVs to try and hold on, try and get into the nice little position here. But again, it's just not quite enough. As some more Zerglings will stream on through. 30 supply lead right now for our Zerg player. Scan comes down to sort of see the situation in his opponent's base, but again, No Regret just has way too much right now, and this is going to be game number 2 going the way of PSISTORM Gamers. So they're going to take a quick swift 2-0 advantage in this series, as Ling's still in here. They're going to take a swift 2-0 advantage in this series after a walkover in the first game, and a fairly quick in game number 2. I mean, 11 minutes long. Was kind of scary again for a few moments for No Regret. The momentum carried back on over to this side of the map, though. And I think he still has enough momentum to just end this here in a few moments' time. 1-1 upgrades are up for Surprise, which is something. But I mean, No Regrets on 1, 2, 3 bases and 39 drones with 22 SCVs. This third base will be forced to lift at some point in the near future as well, so Surprise is really going to start running out of money here soon, as we see a few Banelings here to try and help against these Marines. He target fires one of them down. A few more Banelings coming in as well, as he needs to start finding a way to split. The Lings are all that's left over here, so not the best position for No Regret to fight in. And actually, a fight like that against +1/+1 Marines with 0/0 Lings and so on is not the way to go about things. So No Regret might have to just back off here for a moment or two. And that was a little bit of a kind of lost fight for him. Mutos or something over towards the third base would be nice. I mean, the units right now are kind of still stuck in the main base. Try and just stay safe, try not to overextend or anything. And yeah, this is what No Regret's going to do. This time he's going to go in towards the third mineral line, just kill off some SCVs, confirm some kills over here, and then just back away, not run up that ramp. He's going to play a little bit safer and just wait a little bit longer. As long as his opponent doesn't mine from this third base, then, the main base will be mining out, the natural will be mining out as well, so there's only so much you can really do. And, yeah, the third is forced to lift as well, so eventually No Regret will just starve his opponent out. He might try and run in here. The mines are burrowing, and they're going to get maybe some good connections. They're not targeting just yet. Big baiting connections on the Marines, and this time they're not able to minimize the damage they're taking here, as the Lings and Banes, well, the Bane connections will be enough to help the Lings out, and that will allow No Regret to maybe make the final move of this game. Some more Marines drop down, but again, Surprise just doesn't quite have enough. And No Regret, I think, will eventually be able to close out this game. It was pretty close, though. I mean, Surprise in the was even starting to come back into this a little bit. Just didn't quite have enough to realistically hold the low ground, so he lost a few more workers and a bit more income. And that's where it really started to hurt, as he still has that upgrade advantage, which has been working wonders for him. Again, he's been actually trading very evenly up until now. I thought he would have been trading a bit more efficiently based on what we're seeing as we see these last couple of Marines fall. And this is going to be the end of the game. The last STVs are dying, and the Surprise is going to have to tap out. He drops the mules down, and he types out GG. No Regret! It's the bottom right side of the map. We're going to have our blue Zerg player from PSISTORM Gaming. Let's see if you're cheering on PSISTORM. Let's hear it for No Regret. And if you're cheering on 7X, let's hear it in the chat right now for our green Zerg player Crash, up to the upper left side of the map. Again, everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome to the stream. How do I have that many songs in my playlist? My playlist is not really a playlist. It's just like it is a playlist, but it's literally just all the songs that I like over time. I just add them. So whenever I find a new song I like, I just add it to that playlist. So it's kind of just my collection of music, I suppose, on Spotify. I just use that as my stream playlist because I generally like most of the songs, and if there's something bad, I just skip it most of the time anyway. So it works out. As we have a gas pool opening from No Regret, and we've seen a hatch first from Crash, but on the high ground here, the normal natural, not a gold base or anything like that. So pretty standard stuff for now for Crash. And No Regret, kind of expecting him to play aggressive here. It's the way he plays, it's the style he plays. and stuff like that. Playlist failed to load. That's weird. Maybe Spotify's having a couple of issues right now. Sometimes it has that, sometimes... especially on the web version of Spotify, it's kind of a bit buggy quite often. What I find myself is that it stops and starts, all this stuff. Does it not work if you... Does it not work with the start? Is that link actually broken? Oh. Maybe I should fix it. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it shouldn't work, though. It's kind of weird. I'll look into it later. Anyways, we do have these first zerglings coming across the map, of course, and that is what we've got to be paying attention to right now. These zerglings moving across here, looking to see what they can get up to. Bane Nest being dropped by No Regret, and getting set to go into his aggression here, which is, of course, going to be Ling Bane based. Crash goes for the zergling speed first, which is generally the weaker way to hold off this 14-14 aggression, because what you genuinely like to see is the Banelin's Nest first, so that you can begin to morph in your Banelins nice and early on. And the first thing Crash is right now, No Regret completely dodged his Overlord, so Crash doesn't even know what No Regret's going for, and he's just starting to make drones, and if he's making drones, well, that's not ideal, as the first Lings are going to come in here. Zergling's Speed's about to finish up, so he's going to get a few kills. He's going to get 2 drones on the natural already. He's going to start working his way on the natural, and he starts setting up a couple of Banelins as well. He's about to get Ling Speed, so these 2 Lings that come down to the low ground are not going to be able to do very much themselves, and No Regret realizing this will just go for the free kills, and he surrounds those 2 Lings as well. Queen coming up on the natural is not going to be able to kill that Banelin before he gets morphed in, so he gets to regenerate, and misses the choke point as well. And Crash all of a sudden is in a lot of trouble here as these speedlings, these Banes are just in towards the main base. The Banes are just going to connect here. 2 Banes to take out most of the Lings. A little bit of damage elsewhere as well. But the Queen falls down. He's got a Spinecrawler finishing up in the main. He made that a little while ago. So that comes up, which is nice, but still, I mean, he's going to lose the natural almost 100% here. And Crash still has more workers, but down so much in army, it's almost inevitable that he'll at least lose a little bit more before this game is up. But Evo Chamber coming in to try and delay a little bit here as the Lings are going to come in. They're going to commit in such a way that they can kill off the Spinecrawler. Drones are really pulled against this as well, but I think there's just too many Zerglings. The Banelins did get used to cancel the Banelins off his opponent. As one Banelin does finish up there, No Regret pulls away until that's going to be killed off, and now he can get back into that mineral line. Already 9 workers killed, and he's just going to be able to slowly keep picking those off as this next Queen going to go down as well. Crash just doesn't have anything left over, and No Regret is going to very quickly make this a 3-0 advantage to PSISTORM. And, well, we're making up for lost time here as Crash is down 0 drones. We'll type out the GG, and No Regret will take the 3-0 lead now for PSISTORM Gaming. A classic Z. So, we're going to start off in the upper right corner of the map, upper left corner of the map, sorry, with our yellow Protoss player from 7X. It's going to be Enigma. And down to the bottom left, we're going to have our blue Zerg player from PSISTORM Gaming. It's going to be No Regret. So, as we get set up here, we're to see what's going to be happening, we're to see what's going to be going on. We are going to be on Arena, so I suppose, I mean, so the way we look at this is that this map is very small, and so we quite often do see kind of a lot of aggression out of either side of this. In fact, we have a very early pool from No Regret, which you can see right now. So he's going to be making a bunch of Zerglings right at the start of this game, a Queen as well, I imagine, because he has the money to do it. There is a Probe Scout coming across from Enigma, and as these Lings are going to move across the map and look to see what is going on. So Ling's going to come across here, look to see what's happening, look to see what exactly they're going to be able to get up to. Let's see. Gate down, Cyber Core being dropped here, and the Ling's going to be starting to come across the map. The first Zealot going to be chrono boosting out right now, and well, this Zealot going to chrono out, and we'll be able to fill this gap in the wall. If you can fill this gap, that's always nice. And the Lings are going to get here, I think, just maybe, okay, they're not going to go right up to the ramp. It's going to be just a little second too late. There was a probe there. Anyways, No Regret will just trade here and pull the damaged Lings back. But of course, it's going to take a lot of health off of his Lings. Good control so far. Loses his first Ling, just now loses another. 2 more Lings coming across here, as he will trade another Ling to try and get up here. But there's only so much you can really do. Mothership Core should be on the way soon. There's an Adept on the way. going to be some time where No Regret can actually fight against the Cybercore. You actually choose the Cybercore, I guess, for more surface area, even though it's got more health. And there's a few Lings just going to try and get in wherever they can. The Cybercore's lost its shields already. This is starting to look a little bit scary. If the Cybercore goes down, Adept's on the way. Is it going to come out in time? 7 seconds away, and the Cybercore's still falling. Adept's attack quite slowly early on as well, remember. So, I mean, there's a mothership as well for an overcharge. Is he going to go for the Cybercore? I think he just commits. Oh no, yeah, okay, he gets it, but it's going to cost him all of those Zerglings apart from one. But he has the Cybercore, which is not that much of a nuisance, I guess, because another one's being built behind it. And Warp Gate wasn't even started, so he doesn't even really slow that down. As Enigma will expand. But No Regret is now up on an expansion of his own and getting set and ready to roll. So, things will calm down a little bit here, unless we see some Adept aggression, but I think No Regret's going to be more than prepared to deal with this. A couple of Queens at the front, and he's going to have a few Lings on the way, I'm sure, fairly shortly, as we see a Stargate being added on by Enigma. Now, interesting to note that once this game does stabilize, if it heads towards a macro game, while Eldraine is a very good map early on for cheesing and so on, later game, it's definitely a lot better to, it's definitely a lot stronger for kind of late game macro games, because you can very easily go split map. It's very hard to attack on this map. So, it's a very weird map in that it kind of caters to two different extremities, either super early aggression or kind of super late game. I kind of like Eldraine. I mean, it's kind of weird, and it has been removed from the GSL map pool. I don't know if we're going to roll with it in the real First Division map pool for the SC2ITL. But I kind of like it. I think it's a cool map. It's something different without being... Hey, it kind of is completely broken, but it forces different openings and so on. And I don't think it favours one race more than the others, in particular. As this Oracle is going to come out, of course, a good map to go Oracle on because of the short air distance that was the basis. We're going to see Queens currently actually pushing across the map by No Regret, which is interesting, especially with this Oracle coming across. He's not going to be very well prepared for this at all. In fact, he's got nothing in his main base right now. A Queen's about to pop out of the main hatchery, and as the Queen pops out, it's going to be able to start targeting down that Oracle. Oracle will give chase here, and pick off another couple of drones. And so 9 workers killed by Enigma. There's going to be... quite a lot. I mean, actually, that puts No Regret now down to 19 workers. In fact, he's kind of in a little bit of trouble here. He's fighting at the front with these Queens. Phoenix comes out to help lift, as these Roaches are going to continue helping to fight as well. Adept in the front doing a lot of tanking right now. There's more Roaches coming across the map, and again, the problem really for No Regret is that there's Photon Overcharges are very powerful. He's going to take down Pounds on the right side, though. And right now, the Motion Core doesn't have energy. Okay, there's one more Photon Overcharge, which he'll use right here. Pylon's going to go down though, which is the Photon Overcharge. There's only 2 cannons here right now. The Queen's continuing to help out slowly but surely, and more Roaches coming across as well. So obviously No Regret continuing to commit to this aggression. Another Mothership Core needs to be started. Another Mothership Core would be huge right now, as Sentry Scouts will get left in the front. The Phoenix are kind of useful, but not really. A Void Ray would be much better, as Corrosive Bowels will come down to help take this cannon down very swiftly. And unfortunately for Enigma, there just isn't really going to be any units left to help defend here. And despite doing a lot of damage on the other side of the map, No Regret is just going to have way too much. And he's going to make this a clean, simple 4-0 for PSISTORM Gaming.